Hi, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing my August book haul. I've acquired quite a few books this month from various different places. So I'm just going to jump into the books I got in August. The first couple of books that I'm going to show you are ones that I won in a giveaway a few months ago, I think around April time, I want to say. No, maybe it was a bit later than that, maybe May or June, I can't remember. The readathon, the book swapathon happened and there were various different giveaways open during that week. And one of the giveaways was connected to creating a piece of art or something like that that was related to one of the books that you were reading for the readathon. And so I recreated the front cover. I'll link that video up here if you want to go watch it. It's very, very short. And I won. So I won $15 worth of book depository books. So I went on and I picked out two. The first of which is Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wine. I'd been wanting this for quite some time. It had been on my Amazon wishlist for quite some time. This is a young adult historical fiction novel and it focuses around a woman, or a girl, a young woman. So it says, on October the 11th, 1943, a British spy plane crashes in Nazi-occupied France. Its pilot and passenger are best friends, but just one of the girls has a chance at survival. Arrested by the Gestapo, Verity is given a choice: reveal her mission or face a grisly execution. They'll get the truth out of her, only it won't be what they expect. I've started reading this because I'm doing a buddy read of this with Lisa from Books and Smiles. I'll link her channel down below. But I'm only about 45 pages in. Yeah, I've kind of got back from holiday and not really done much reading. Yeah, back at work. So I think it's just going to take me a while to kind of figure out how I'm going to juggle everything again. So yeah, and it's certainly, just because I've heard so many people talk about it on BookTube, I've read the first kind of few pages and it's not quite what I was expecting. I don't really know how to explain that, so, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm sure I'll continue to enjoy it. So that's the first one. And then the other one that I got in that same giveaway is The Brief and Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, is that how you pronounce that, by Juno Diaz. Again, this has been on my wish list for ages. So this says on the back, Oscar is a sweet but overweight sci-fi obsessed introvert who, from the New Jersey home he shares with his old world mother and rebellious sister, dreams of becoming the Dominican J.R.R. Tolkien, and most of all, of finding love. But Oscar may never get what he wants. Blame the Fuku, a curse that has haunted Oscar's family for generations, following them on their epic journey from New Jersey to Washington Heights and back to Santo Domingo. Encapsulating Dominican American history, Oscar's story opens our eyes to an astonishing vision of the contemporary American experience and explores the endless human capacity to persevere and risk it all in the name of love. I've heard fabulous things about this book, so I'm really looking forward to getting to it. Then just before I went away on holiday, we were in town sort of getting a few different bits in preparation for going on holiday, and we went in Waterstones, and it was the day of the publication of this book, and of course I could not do anything else but buy it, and that is Tin Man by Sarah Winman. I have been anticipating this book for months and it's finally come out, and like I said, on the day of publication we were in town, I was in Waterstones, I walked in, this was on sort of like their hardback fiction new release shelf, and I was like, yes, give it to me. So like I said, this is Sarah Winman's newest book. It's her third book that she's written. I have read this. I will be talking about it more in my August wrap up, so watch out for that. Spoiler alert, it was fabulous. I'm not going to tell you anything about what it's about, and I'll talk about this in my wrap up, just because I think you don't really need to know much. But yeah, so happy to have this. I also bought a couple of books that were on the Man Booker long list. So the shortlist is due to be announced on September the 13th, so I'm sort of anticipating that coming, and because I've got a few of the long list books, so I want to see whether they arrive on the shortlist. So maybe I'll have to buy 6, and maybe I'll have to buy less than 6, we'll see. But I got a copy of Zadie Smith's Swing Time. I talked about when I went through the long list in the video that I did a few weeks ago. I'll link that for you. I talked about the fact that I wasn't really a massive fan of Zadie Smith's writing before, when I read On Beauty. This one is about 2 sisters. It's about it's got kind of a multicultural link to it, and it's about the power of dance, so we'll see. And then the last book that I picked up was The Ministry of Utmost Happiness by Arundhati Roy. This is a foils special edition hardback. So the reason it's special edition is, I believe, because of the end papers. So it has different end papers to the normal hardback. It's also signed, which I said when I was talking about the long list, it would have been better for me to actually have met Arundhati Roy and for her to sign it while I was there, but we can't always get what we want, I suppose. And it's got this lovely, I don't know whether you can see that sort of stamp. It's not a stamp, but it's not, I can't really explain it, but yeah, at the top there. So it's a really beautiful edition of it, and I couldn't pass up buying it. This is Arundhati Roy's second novel, and she hasn't released a novel for quite a number of years. Book set in India, and seems like one that's going to be told in a very unique style, a bit like The God of Small Things was told in a very unique style. I'm sort of semi-intimidated by this. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see whether it shows up on the shortlist. The next set of books I've got to show you, I got when I got back from holiday, and we went, we had to go shopping for food because we had literally nothing in the house. And my husband and I went to a supermarket called, we went to Tesco instead of going to our local supermarket, which is Sainsbury's. So I talked about the fact that one of somebody that I follow on Instagram posted a picture of the shelves in Tesco and how many books they always have on offer, and I miss going to Tesco, but it just happens to be a store that's further away from me. It doesn't really make sense to go to if I'm going to do traditional shopping cart shopping. I mean, because I normally order online and have it delivered. Yeah. So we went to Tesco just purely because I wanted to look at the book section, and I found a few bargains which I was so happy about. The first of which is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Again, this has been talked about on BookTube quite a lot. This is a science fiction book which I believe is about a man who wakes up in a parallel universe. Yeah, and I don't really know a lot more than that, but I've heard some really wonderful things about it. I was supposed to buddy read this with Christoph and Books and Jams, and August kind of rolled along, and I didn't pick this up until the end, and it kind of didn't happen. But I do really want to read this, so I'm happy that I found a cheap copy of it. This one is The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan. Can we just take a second to appreciate how beautiful that cover is? This one I've heard a couple of people talking about, but I've seen the cover around and sort of been really intrigued by it because it is really, really beautiful. But then I read the blurb and I was just so drawn in. It says, "Meet the Keeper of Lost Things. Anthony Perdue has spent half his life collecting lost objects, trying to atone for a promise broken many years before. Realising he's running out of time, he leaves his house and all its lost treasures to his assistant Laura, the one person he can trust to reunite the thousands of objects with their rightful owners. But the final wishes of the keeper of lost things have unforeseen repercussions which trigger a most serendipitous series of encounters. It's just the whole thing about collecting things and reuniting things with their owners, and the mystery sort of element that was in there really drew me in. And it's quite a short book as well, so I don't actually think it will take me that long to read either. It'd be quite a quick read, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I also saw, which I was really happy with, the Renault Key Girls by Amy Engel. The reason I'm so happy about seeing this is because this is a September pick for Lisa's Buddy Reads group on Goodreads. So it's a book club, and we read, or the group reads 2 books a month and discuss it on Goodreads. So I'll leave a link to that group down below. But yes, this is one of the September picks. This is a thriller. And it says at the top there, everyone wants to be a Renault girl, is that how you pronounce that? Or Renault Key girl, I don't know. You won't when you know the truth. I don't really want to know more than that. Apparently it's quite dark, so we'll see. And then lastly, in that trip to Tesco, I picked up a hardback edition of Final Girls by Riley Sager. I've heard April from Getting Hooger with It say massively great things about this thriller. This is another sort of psychological thriller. And it's about these girls that are referred to as final girls. So I think what that means is that they were involved in some sort of murder, each one of them a different one, and they were the only one that survived, so they're called a final girl. And these girls know each other, I think, from the fact that they are all called final girls. And then one of them dies in mysterious circumstances, so the other ones are trying to kind of figure out what does that mean, and how does she die, and what does this mean for me, and stuff like that. So like I said, April said great things about this. So I saw it, and it had a great big sticker on the front that said £12.99 reduced to £5. £5 for a hardback. I thought great, and I scanned it at the till and it came up £6. So I was like, oh, that's wrong. So when I paid for my shopping, I went to customer services and I said that this is scanned at the wrong price, this should be £5 rather than £6. And they have this policy in this particular supermarket where they'll double the refund. So I actually ended up getting this for £4. Bargain! It's like picking it up in a charity shop, sort of, but it's brand new. So yeah. And then the last 4 books that I've got to show you are ones that I picked up in a different trip to Waterstones when we went kind of back to school shopping. Yeah, I always go back to school shopping. I don't need to buy a uniform, but I do need to buy things for work. Like, for example, the flat shoes that I'd been wearing all of last year had the beginnings of holes in the bottom of them, so I had to buy some new ones, just stuff like that. So yeah, we went in Waterstones again, because who can go shopping and not go in a bookshop? I can't, definitely. And the first one that we picked up was A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is a companion novel to, what's it called? Chambers. Oh yeah, look, it's here. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I haven't actually read that. My husband has. So he kind of picked this up. But I thought I would share it with you just because I do plan on reading A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. And this being the companion, well, that it makes sense for me to put this on my TBR as well. I don't tend to share with you books that I buy or I don't buy them, or my husband buys, just because sometimes, well, a lot of the time, I don't put them on my own TBR, not because I'm not interested in reading them, just because my own TBR is massive and I'm already yeah, I already got quite a few books to read through, so I'd probably get around to reading them eventually, but yeah, so this is the second one to that. Another one that I picked up is Blood Sisters. This is by Jane Corrie, and this is also a book for Lisa's Body Reads group. This is an October pick, so this is another thriller. It says 3 little girls set off to school one sunny May morning. Within an hour, one of them is dead. Yeah, so there we go. The next one I picked up basically pretty much for the cover, but I also quite like the premise as well. This is An Almond for a Parrot by Ray Delaney. So it's Sally Gardner writing as Ray Delaney. Now, that cover is just beautiful. It's just as beautiful on the back, so it completely drew me in. Then I read the back and it says, Tully Trugood, orphan, whore, murderer. I mean, 3 words and I'm already hooked. Newgate Prison, 1756. This is set in a prison. Yeah. I need to start thinking to myself, maybe these are some of my buzzwords and I should do a video on what my book buzzwords are. Because I've seen a few people do that video, so let me know in the comments below whether you'd like to see that. Then it says, Tully awaits trial, her life hanging in the balance. With the best seats already sold in anticipation of her execution, Tully's one chance of survival is to reveal her life story. It's a tale that takes her from backstreet skivvy to celebrated courtesan, and now she must tell it to save her life. I'm hoping this is going to be great because A, it's beautiful, B, the premise sounds incredible. Please let this be really good because it sounds amazing. And this is the last book. I picked up The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth. It's a bit of a mouthful, that name, just because the M's at the thing. I believe, and I could be wrong about this, but I believe this has only been recently published in the UK. I think it's been out in the US for quite a number of years, but it's only recently been published in the UK, and I think that's the case because this is being turned into a film. But I've heard a couple of people, and I believe I've heard Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings talk about how great this book is. And yeah, so it says on the back, the night Cameron Post's parents died, her first emotion was relief. Relief they would never know that hours earlier she'd been kissing a girl. Now living with her conservative aunt in small town Montana, hiding her sexuality and blending in becomes second nature to Cameron until she begins an intense friendship with the beautiful Coley Taylor. Desperate to correct her niece, Cameron's aunt takes drastic action. Now Cameron must battle with the cost of being her true self, even if she's not completely sure who that is. That sounds amazing. Yeah, and I don't even think I read the back of this when I picked this up in Waterstones. I just was like, yeah, heard the good things about that, I picked that up. Now that I've read the back of it, I'm like, wow, need to read that soon. So I'm really glad I bought that one. So there you go. That was 13 books for my book haul in September. I can imagine that I'm going to be filling up a bit more of my empty shelves soon. I'll warn you that my September book haul is going to be out of control. Just because we had some money left over from holiday when we got home. And I remember my husband saying to me on holiday, what would you buy if you had £150? And I was like, books, obviously. And then he was like, oh okay, because you are going to have that amount of money. So he had £150, I had £150. And he bought a wheel for his PlayStation and a new game. And I basically spent the majority of that on books. And then I've bought lots of books today as well. Which, yeah. And it's September the 2nd. so that might be a slightly long video. But it's good because it's more books and I love book hauls. So yeah. So, I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments below. Have you read any of these books? What did you think of them? What should I get to first? Try and get me into reading a bit more. I need to up the ante on that. Thanks very much for watching. Oh, wanted to mention that my giveaway, my 500 subscriber giveaway is still open. If you haven't watched that video, I'll link it for you. Please do go and enter it. Yeah, if you haven't done so already. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.